I want someone who can be my friend first, because right now, if my ex call me, I'm gonna probably go back to him, and I'm just being completely honest. But I am leaning towards getting over him. But if he called me and he like act right, it'll probably be a wrap. Okay.
The lady being interviewed by Kendra G in this reaction video has a long list of what she wants in a man. But even if she finds what she's looking for, she'd happily go back to her ex if he called her up, which sounds like a total disaster if you ask me. But let's not waste any time and get into the mess.
All right, let's get into it. What's your name, boo?
Serita.
Serita, where you calling us from?
Alexandria, Virginia.
Alexandria, Virginia. How old are you?
40.
40. Do you have any kids?
Yep. 44 kids.
How many kids?
4.
4. How old are your kids?
Yep. 16, 15, 12, 4.
16, 15, 12, 4. Same dad?
Nope. Different dad.
How many dads?
2.
Could be worse.
2 dads. Have you ever been married?
No, never.
Never married. Okay.
Nope.
Why you not with the 4-year-old dad?
I tried several times up until like maybe 4 months ago, and it just doesn't work. It's not working. He has a bad drug problem.
Okay.
Well, 2 dads is better than what we usually get during Kendra G's videos. But is that how low the bar's been set? Unfortunately though, one of the men she had kids with has a drug problem. So I wonder if he had that issue before they got together. Or is it a relatively new thing? When it comes to these stories, it's never easy. There's always something.
Yeah.
He has a bad drug problem?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to hear that. What do you do for a living?
I'm a fleet maintenance clerk for her.
Fleet maintenance clerk. What kind of man you looking for?
I have it written down.
Oh, she got a list for us, people. Let's get into the list.
I have my list.
Well, this should be good.
Okay. I want someone with a career. No drug dealers, no street niggas. Okay? Not too short, but I don't have like a height, but short men are mean. They're mean. Yes, short guys are very mean. I don't want you too rich either, because too rich, yes, no ma'am. I've been there, done that. Too rich, they are mean. Yeah, they're not mean, they're very cocky. So not too rich, not poor at all. You can have as many kids as you want, because them not my kids. That's why I be trying to understand. Them not my kids, them your kids. So you can have 50 kids, I don't care.
I've heard this whole short men are mean thing before, but honestly, I don't know if there's any truth behind it. Even though I don't think what she's looking for is too crazy. And honestly, it seems pretty standard. The whole having as many kids as you want thing is wild, because if she got with a guy who had 50 kids, it'd have a massive impact on her life. I don't see how she thinks this won't affect her just because they're not biologically hers. But let's see how the rest of this interview goes.
My age is between 37 and 47, right? Because I don't want no old ass man. I want someone who can be my friend first. Because right now, if my ex call me, I'm going to probably go back to him. And I'm just being completely honest. But I am leaning towards getting over him. But if he called me and he like act right, it'll probably be a wrap. Okay.
Saying that she'd go back to her ex immediately if he called is a massive ass red flag. And I think that's an even bigger issue than her having kids. Am I crazy for that? Imagine you get with this woman or someone else like her and things are going well. Then 6 months later, her ex has a change of heart and the next day he's clapping her cheeks. This is the exact reason why you shouldn't be getting with people who are still hung up on people from their past. What makes this thing even crazier to me is that this whole call is supposed to be her advertising herself to guys who might be interested. So how the hell does her being willing to run back to her ex help things?
So I'm sorry. I'm just being very honest. I have to be honest. I'm just being honest. No cheating, of course. No liars. No mama's boys. But I don't want you to be mean to your mom either. Yeah, no drug addicts. Because good energy, good heart, good. I like to have a lot of sex. You got to have good. And I do not want. I used to be with this guy. He used to be like, oh, why do we have to have sex so much? I'm like, I want, okay? I want some, I'm sorry.
Okay, we get it.
Just have to be, you got to be honest, because if you don't say what you want, then you're going to be like minimizing yourself, right? And you're going to be like, oh, like, I don't want to beg for, I don't want to do that.
While I don't think there's anything wrong with having a list, this is kinda specific. And given the fact that she'll probably run back to her ex if he calls, kinda sucks for whoever checks all these boxes. I know that a lot of guys out there would love to have a woman who's got a high sex drive. But honestly, when women speak about it so fragrantly in a public space like this, it's kinda off-putting. You can call it a double standard if you want, but that's my opinion.
Okay, weed is always welcome. No crack. No, none of that. Girl, no crack, please. None of the hard stuff. Okay. No cigarettes and no felons. You can't look. We everything they do background checks for apartments and shit. No felons. All right. I'm not leaving Virginia. I'm dying in Virginia. I'm dying in Virginia. So we're not leaving Virginia. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it.
I wonder if her baby father was the one on crack. And gosh, I hope this isn't the ex she said she'd run back to.
That's it.
Wow. Listen, I've never asked for someone's mailing address, but I want to get your mailing address so I can mail you this notepad and this pen so you can draw that man, because that's the only place where he's ever going to exist.
And you don't look.
Kendra's got no chill, man. And even though it doesn't sound like she's looking for some super rich guy or anything like that, her list is so specific that she probably won't find someone who matches her requirements. To be fair to her though, there are probably a lot of things on that list that are negotiable.
I have a thing, it's called Mindful Doodle Book. So he's already drawn, baby.
You better make love to that drawing.
This is my wording requirement right here. This is my wording requirement.
Okay. I'm all for what people desire, but you said not too short, not too tall, not too rich, not too poor.
Yeah.
So you want medium everything?
Yes. Yeah. I want mediocre everything. I don't want over the top nothing.
But you want good penis. Good penis ain't mediocre.
You can find good in a lot of wrong places. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna find some good in a mediocre place. I don't find poor drug addict. I don't find drug dealers. The is out there, right? Because the energy is gonna attract that. But I don't want someone like, I don't care. Oh, he's 6'9". No, I just don't want you too short. Not because that means anything. Because short niggas got big.
Jeez, you are not gonna let this go, are you?
So it's not that. It's just that they're very mad at the world. Like, don't be mad at everything because you're short. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, it does sound like she's looking for an average dude. But if she's on this show, it sounds to me that she's still finding it hard to attract a man like that into her life.
So I don't normally ask height, but I think because you're spending so much time on height, how tall are you?
I'm 5'4.5".
Okay, you're 5'4.5". Okay.
Yeah.
So and short to you as a short man is what height? Is like 5'5" consider a short man to you?
Mm-hmm, yeah, like a regular average short. Yeah, like a short.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
all right. Do you have an appearance requirement other than height?
No, you can't be too ugly, right? We could deal, but not too ugly. Yeah.
Not too ugly.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm not too ugly. You feel me? I feel like I'm beautiful, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not the most beautiful person in the world. So
yeah, she was going in on short guys quite a lot, but being only 5'4", she's not too tall herself. So finding a man who's bigger than her shouldn't be too tough. Also, I don't know how I'd feel about her seeing me as someone who's ugly, but just not too ugly. I think my self-esteem would take a hit.
You don't got to be too ugly either. You match how I look. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's fair.
Okay. Does he have to make, I know you mentioned money, but let's make sure we're clear on it. So what kind of money do you want him to make?
Probably nothing over 50, 60,000.
You want to make, so you don't want to make over 60,000.
Nope, not right now.
Tell me why. This is
interesting. Yes, no. I've been there, right? So I know what I like, because I used to date this guy, very, very wealthy. And one day he said, I was like, you want to go out on this day? He's like, no, I'm booked. I was like booked as in he has a date already. But versus just saying you have a date, no, I'm booked. Like, I'll never forget that. So I don't want nobody super rich like that ever again, because that made me feel like.
Her wanting a man who doesn't make over 60,000 isn't extreme, but it seems to be in response to an experience she had with a high-value man in the past. And to be honest, this is something that other women need to think about more when wanting to date a man who has money. With that money comes options, and it may very well be the case that you won't always be that guy's first choice, especially if you're not someone he's made a commitment to.
This is Serita from Alexandria, Virginia. She's 40. She has 4 kids by 2 different men. So you mentioned the last child's father is on drugs, yes, correct? The first child's dad, did you guys try to work it out?
We did, and I almost married him, but I don't know. He has women issues, a lot of women, and it didn't work out, but we're very, very close.
Okay.
The way she described that they're still very close makes me think that maybe this is the ex she wouldn't be able to resist if he called, especially if he said he'd be getting rid of all those other women.
All right, do you want the guy to be in Alexandria, Virginia?
DMV area or wherever.
Or whatever, DMV area.
Wherever. Yeah, DMV I would prefer DMV, but you don't have to.
You said you don't care if he has kids.
No.
Okay, you don't care if he has kids.
Do
you want more kids?
It's not my kids. They're not mine. So, yeah, I honestly do. I want one more.
Well, one more child. Back to the kids that the guy has. Do you want to get married one day?
I do.
So I think if you marry a man with kids, you would be stepmom.
I would be a stepmom, but those are still not mine.
Well, yes, they're not yours technically, but you would have to treat them like they were your kids if you become a stepmother. You don't think so?
Yeah, and I'm a nice person. I'm a good person.
She's so adamant on distancing herself from any kids a guy might have. It's like she wants nothing to do with them, which I can't see happening, especially if she plans on moving in and building a life with this man. Also, it's always sus when someone has to self-declare that they're a good person. But let's see where she's going with this.
I'm not a super nice person, but I'm a good person. There's a big difference.
Okay.
So I like kids, and I feel like being a mom comes very natural. I'm very loving and all that stuff like that. But those are not my children. So I can't it's only a certain amount of growing and training and all this other stuff I'm going to be able to do with your kids because they're not mine.
Okay. We got it. They are not her kids.
Yeah, they're not mine. So.
All right.
I get that the kids not being hers will impact how she relates to them and raises them and all that, but it's like she's trying to build the Great Wall of China between them, as if she doesn't want to take on any extra responsibility at all. But that's just a part of the deal when you get with someone who already has children.
Sarita, when was your last relationship?
My last relationship was a couple years ago. That's the guy who I said if he calls me, it's a wrap. So that was my last relationship, and it's not my kid's father, but it's somebody that.
Why did y'all break up?
I think it was my fault. I think I was just doing a little bit too much and being a little naggy a little bit and overly affectionate maybe.
Overly affectionate.
Yeah, overly loving and
How long did y'all date for?
Couple years.
And when did y'all officially break up?
Year before last. So
do you still communicate with?
Very, very, very rare. It's just like a hi, how are you?
Does he know that you want to get back with him?
Yeah.
And what does he say about that? What's his thoughts?
He feels the same way, but
he feels what way?
He feels the same way I feel. Like he wants to get back with me, but
what's the problem?
I don't know. He won't tell me.
Oh, so this is the man who she might end up dropping the next dude for. There's not a chance in hell that I'd get myself involved with someone who still has a romantic attachment to someone else. And even though they don't talk a lot, she said it herself. It'll only take one call from him to get her back. And towards the end, she even said that this dude still has feelings for her. So why the hell is she trying to drag a new man into all this mess? It doesn't seem fair at all.
Because I feel like if you are open and honest saying if he call you tomorrow, you will be with him, and if he's saying the same, then why don't y'all just be together?
I don't know. It might be. I can't answer for him.
Okay. Well, do you still sleep with him?
No.
Okay.
We haven't had sex in 2 years. Nope. No sex.
Does he have kids?
Mm-hmm. He has 3 kids.
That's probably why he won't be with you, because he know you ain't gonna treat his kids right.
Don't say. I am. That's just still his kids.
You said you just gonna buy damn near school supplies. Child, I would not leave you with nobody's kids.
No, that's not true. No, I told you Kendra. I'm very loving. I love kids, but I just don't judge people on their kids because I don't think it affects me. Like maybe maybe I'm pushing out how I treat my children with other people. So maybe that's what I'm doing. Because for me, my kids are my kids. Like my kids, their father is in their life. I don't need you to do anything for my kids. You feel me?
This whole thing is too messy for me. And the fact that they haven't slept together in 2 years, and she still feels this way about him, should tell you everything you need to know. Getting with her would feel like a ticking time bomb. You'd just be sitting there, waiting for this man to call and ruin whatever it was you were trying to build. Even though she said towards the end that their fathers are still in her kids' lives, any man she moves in with will be contributing to raising and financing those kids. That's just what happens when you're in a relationship with someone.
All right, so why do you think you're single, Serita?
I'm single because I think that I don't allow the guy to wear the pants. I'm very dominant. Sometimes, I mean, that's what I've heard. I don't know. I don't feel like that's true, but maybe if more than one person is saying the same thing, it may be some truth to it. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think that's the only negative thing.
That's the only negative thing?
Yeah.
So you feel out of all side, everything else you do is positive. That's the only one negative attribute you believe you have.
In my opinion, yeah, I don't feel like having sex with my baby father is bad.
Of course you don't.
Because he's...
Well, what about a guy that has kids that you have been open and honest with and saying that his kids is his kids? You don't really see yourself becoming a stepmother in a loving way to somebody else's children. I don't think...
I said those are your kids. I didn't say that I wouldn't be open and whatever. I didn't say that.
Well, that's the way it comes across when you discount somebody else's kids.
So, not only does she still want to get back with her ex from 2 years ago, she's still getting her freak on with her baby daddy. How does any of this sound appealing for a new guy? It doesn't matter if she thinks it's true or not, but if people are having the same experience of her being dominant, there's gotta be something to it, right? This video kind of dragged on a little in some places, but yeah. Just before this, she said she recently slept with her most recent baby daddy, the one who has a drug problem, so I guess her list for what she wants in a man doesn't always apply.
All I said was you can have as many kids as you want because they're not my children. They're not. That's the fact. That is a fact. I birthed 4 children, right? And I take care of my children. Their father take care of their children, right? So... that has nothing to do with me. That doesn't mean I won't love them. That just means that is your situation that you came to me with. Understand? So I'm a loving person. I can't just not. I would never just not. I'm not gonna feed your kids because them your kids. Nah, but them is still your kids. Just like my kids. You feel me? And you don't got to worry about my kids because they taken care of and their father takes very good care of them.
Damn, she really doesn't want to have anything to do with these kids.
Do you want to get married one day?
Absolutely.
So what I hear from men when it comes to sometimes cautious with women that have children, this is what some men have said on the show. If they marry a woman with kids, they have to have the deciding factor of are they going to be the provider for your children? Because if you get married, you're going to live in the same household, right? Is there going to be issues with raising the kids under their rules because they're not really their kids? Are they going to have issues with their father? You know, is the mother going to allow them to discipline? So, you know, you come up for kids. So any man that can provide for you in that way, those are the type of questions he has to ask himself. That's what men have said on this show. Okay.
Well, one of them is almost off to college, so you ain't got to worry about that.
Okay, so it's just 3 kids then.
Yeah, so, and, I mean, they're taken care of. Like, he will probably barely see my kids. They're with their father all the time.
But they would live with you if you got married, right?
Yeah, they would live with
that means he wouldn't barely see them. They'll be living in the same house as him.
But they would barely see them, though.
But they would live in the house that he's providing for, potentially, or going half with you in. Is that fair enough to say?
Yes, it is. It is.
So
it is. And
okay.
Yeah, and my kids are very respectful. So whatever rules that the man set forth, it's not like they wasn't raised like that. So they're very, humble children. So they're just everybody's gonna fall in line.
Do as I say.
So I don't think it'll be a problem at all. I really don't. And I don't want nobody with no kids. I want to make that very clear.
Oh, okay, I missed that. I thought you said you don't care if he has kids.
I mean, if he doesn't, men that don't have kids don't get it.
If they're living in the same house, I don't get how her future guy wouldn't see or interact with them a lot. Unless he's gonna lock himself away in his room all day, which would be pretty weird.
Good penis is important to you, you said, correct?
Yes. And don't be talking about, I want it like 3 times a day.
You want a man with a career to give you penis 3 times a day?
Yes.
If he has a career, he's probably working a lot.
Yeah. So he gonna work 24 hours a day?
Well, he might be tired at times.
See, that's why I want a younger guy, because it is doable. I know Virgos are welcome, because Virgos, one thing about a Virgo, they gonna you and they going to work hard. Yes, they're gonna work 15, 20 hours. They work and they're gonna come home and the hell out you. Virgos, please.
Working full-time and having sex 3 times a day is next level, especially if that's going to be a consistent thing. All you'd be doing is working and hooking up all day, every day, which might be pleasurable to begin with, but that would get old pretty fast. I don't know if she'll ever find what she's looking for, or just end up going back to her ex, but what do you guys think? I don't think she's the worst that Kendra's ever had on the show, but I'd still keep my distance if we're talking about sex and relationships. But share your thoughts down below, and don't forget to subscribe. It helps me out more than you know.